Hi there, Paul here from Charity Hub. It's no secret that the data you hold is one of your most important assets as a charity. But that data isn't much good unless you can interrogate it and turn it into meaningful intelligence that can be used to drive your charity forward. In this video, I want to show you a few of the options we have within Charity Hub to allow you to drive your reporting. So let's start by looking at the basic dashboards built into Charity Hub. At a high level, these dashboards give you an overview of the donations and memberships flowing into your charity. Now, what we're looking at on the screen here is just an example, and everything you see here can be customized. What I want to make clear though is whilst we can do basic dashboarding within Charity Hub is not a business intelligence tool. There are many true business intelligence tools on the market, such as Microsoft Power BI, ClickSense, and Tableau, amongst others. Whilst Charity Hub can be integrated with all of these different types of tools, and we'll have a closer look at Power BI later on, there is a more basic tool that can be used to achieve a reasonable level of reporting that most people are familiar with, and that's Microsoft Excel. So let's have a look at the Excel side of things first. And what I want to do is show you just how easy it is to export your data. Let's say I wanted to use Excel to look at my donations over the last few months. To do this, I can navigate to the donations area, and for the purposes of this example, I'm just going to use the active donations view to start with. But I could use any view we already have in the system, or I can edit this view and add filtering and additional columns as I showed you in the filtering and segmentation video. To get this data that we see on screen out into Excel, all I have to do is very simply click the Export to Excel button. As soon as I do that, the file downloads and I can open that directly from my browser. Once I have that file downloaded, I can work with it in Excel however I wish. For example, as you can see here, I've inserted a pivot table which just shows me all the donations over the last few months, broken down by the different donors that we have in there. We also classify it whether it's a one-off donation or a regular donation. I've dropped a quick chart in there as well, just so we can start to visualize some of this information. If that report is something I use frequently, I can actually take that, save it, and re-upload that into Charity Hub, so that the next time I want to do that report, I don't have to download the raw data, put all those charts and pivot tables together. I can simply click a button in Charity Hub. For example, I can click Excel Templates, and I have my donation report here. If I click on that, I have two options. Either I can open it in Excel Online, in which case I'll be able to see that report directly within Charity Hub using the capabilities of Excel Online. And there you can see here's my data, and here is my pivot table, just as I had in my desktop version of Excel. Alternatively, I could click onto the donation template and download that directly into Microsoft Excel as I had before, and that data will be updated to reflect the current data in that view at the time of generating the file. Now, Excel is great, don't get me wrong, but we can do better than Excel. Because Charity Hub is built natively on the Microsoft Power Platform, we can seamlessly leverage all of the capabilities provided by Microsoft Power BI to interrogate our data and provide true business intelligence. We have a few options as to how we can work with Power BI. The first thing I want to show you is how we can use some of the AI capabilities built into the underlying platform to help us actually put our reports together. Maybe we're not quite sure what we want to visualize or even where to start. Well, we can use AI to help with this. From any view within Charity Hub, in this case donations, I can simply click the Visualize this view button at the top. What this is going to do is look at the columns we have in the view, look at the types of data, and based on this information, automatically build us a report. As you can see, by clicking just one button, we've got quite an interesting report here. We can see KPIs like the total value of donations and the number of donors. We've also got charts there, like the donation amount by the date. You can also see there's a data story at the bottom telling us that our donations have been trending down, so we can actually take some action to address that. I can also interact with this report too. If I choose to bring in the donation type field, you'll see that the system reevaluates what it is showing and adds in some new charts with that information in, all completely automatically. The key thing I want to highlight here is I haven't built this report. The platform has used AI to build this for me based on the columns that I had in that donations view. I could then save this as a base report and then start editing it further if I so wish. Now all of that's pretty cool, but what if I want to start with Power BI and build my own reports? Here I am in Power BI. Now, how we build Power BI dashboards is slightly outside of the scope of this video, but it is certainly something we can help you with. This dashboard I've put together is great and it shows me an overview of my charity's donations over the last few months. But in order to view this, I've got to actually navigate to the Power BI application. I've got to leave Charity Hub and navigate somewhere else, which might be fine for more technical users, but for our less technical users, we really want to try and keep them in one place. We don't want them jumping around different systems. Ultimately, we want a single pane of glass into our charity. So actually, what we can do is we can take that dashboard and we can embed it directly within Charity Hub. So if I go back into Charity Hub and go into my dashboards area, I can change my dashboard and I can actually change it to my donations report. Now we can see directly within Charity Hub is a Power BI dashboard embedded. To the untrained user, they are just in Charity Hub, but we know that we are surfacing this information from our Power BI environment. I can even click on this information and it's fully interactive, so I can start to interrogate the underlying Power BI reports. I can also take this a step further, and I can embed Power BI reports directly into Charity Hub records. For example, say I want a donation overview report visible on each of my supporters. Well, I can quickly and easily do this. If we just navigate to Abby's record here, and I click into the donation summary tab, you can see we have a very similar donation report, but this is automatically filtered down just to show data relating to Abby. Again, we're keeping our users in one central place, providing one pane of glass and preventing them having to hop around different systems. But we are leveraging the huge power we have at our fingertips within Microsoft Power BI. As you can see, there's quite a lot of flexibility in the way we can report on our data within Charity Hub, all with the ultimate goal of helping you gain as much insight as possible to drive your fundraising efforts forwards. Well, as always, thank you for watching. If you do have any questions or need any support with any of the items I've mentioned here, please don't hesitate to reach out to us.